Hi everybody, this is Christy Lee with Law Offices of Christy Lee, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do a quick little YouTube video on what do you do if you are not able to pay your taxes by the deadline. You guys remember the deadline for taxes is in 2 days, July 15th. Now this is for income tax. This is also for other tax. There's a lot of other taxes that are owed and that are due, but right now we're just going to focus on income tax. You are allowed to file an extension. A lot of people know extensions. A lot of people file extensions. That form is a really quick form. Here it is. I've just shared it. It's 4868. Your accountants file that for you, or you can do it yourself where you fill in your name, your address, your city, your zip, your social security number, if you're married, your spouse's, and your estimated taxes that are due and how much you've paid in, and if you owe any money right now. That is what this whole form is. Think about it this way. If you really knew exactly how much you owed, you wouldn't have to file an extension because your tax return would be done. But that's the Internal Revenue Code states that even if you file an extension, you still are required to pay all of your tax. Well, a lot of times people don't know what that tax is and they just guess. That number on the right-hand side, just do your best estimate. And if you owe taxes, pay it. But we are in really weird times right now, and there's another form that you can fill out if you can't pay. But I do want to go back to the extension to file. It's the first time in my life that the Internal Revenue Service has allowed for the extension to even file an extension to July 15th. Why? Because we have a global pandemic called COVID-19. But it doesn't give you the additional 6 months. Normally, the extension is due April 15th, and your extension to file your return is October 15th. Filing your extension right now, still due October 15th, right? So keep in mind, your tax return is still going to be due October 15th. So now we're going to talk about what if you cannot pay those taxes. What do people normally do? Well, one, they just don't file their return. That's always not a good idea because you get penalties for not filing on time, and they just don't pay. But there is another form that a lot of people don't know about. It is actually called an 1127. And that form will allow you to not pay your taxes for 6 months. It's called an application for extension of time for payment of tax due because of undue hardship. I don't know a better time to say you have an undue hardship than right now. It's COVID-19. So let's look at this form. This form, obviously your name, identifying number, social security number, your street, your address, and then you say here in part 1, I request an extension from such and such date to such and such date to pay the tax. Well, I request an extension from, and it's going to be July 15th, 2020, because remember what I said before, regardless if you file your tax return or not, this is due, like your money is due. So you're going to request an extension from July 15, 2020 to no more than 6 months from now to pay X amount of dollars, right? Because you're just going to say, I can't pay it right now. Then part 2 is your undue hardship. What is your hardship? And this is, like they say, a substantial financial loss if I have to pay this. What is a substantial financial loss? Well, I only have $5,000 in my account, and our governor has shut down all of the restaurants and bars and all of those things yet again, which means the economy is going to go back into the toilet and I may lose my job. Or I'm a business owner and I only have X amount of dollars in my account, and if I don't hold it to try to pay for my employees, I may have to shut down my business, and then you'll never get a dime from me because I'll be dirt poor. Part 3, this one's a beating. I'm just going to say it flat out. It's tough because it wants to know every asset you have and every liability for the last month. And they want you to itemize all of your income and all of your expenses for the last 3 months. So what are those things? Well, do you have a house? What's your mortgage payment? What's your equity? Do you have a car? How much equity do you have in your car? Do you have a bank account? Do you have a 401k? Do you have escrow accounts? Do you have investment accounts? What do you have? Don't fret and think, well, I only owe the IRS, I don't want to say only, but I only owe them $10,000 and I have $100,000 in savings. Well, that doesn't mean that you have to pay them. That just means that the IRS would like you to pay them, but give them a reason why you can't. I have a kid who has medical conditions, and if I lose my job, then I will have to go into COBRA, or I will have to be private pay. Or I have medications and I'm about to lose my job. Or I have COVID-19 myself. Yippee! I mean, I'm sick. You will never have a better chance to do undue hardship than you will this year. So let's go through it again. This Wednesday, what is due? My extension to file my return. I don't care who you are, file that extension. It is a simple form that your CPAs can fill out for you. When I say it's simple, just don't get hung up on that part to the right that says, how much do you owe? How much have you paid in? And how much do you owe now? Just don't worry about that. Just put in your best guess. You don't have to go get your W-2s and start calculating stuff. Just put in your best guess. What I do is I go to my 2018 return and I use those numbers. That's what I would do. That's going to be the easiest for you. So that's got to be done by Friday. If your accountant or CPA can't do it, or you can't do it on TurboTax, then you need to do it. Just mail it in, certified return receipt. Also, if you can't pay that tax, send in that form, the 1127 that says you can't pay, and explain why. And then adhere to it, even if you don't hear back from the IRS. Don't assume they didn't accept it. There will be no penalties for you if you file that form. I don't want to guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure with COVID-19, they're going to accept every single one of those, okay? Well, I hope that helps everybody. Hope you have a great day. And don't forget, file those returns. Thanks. Bye.